Okay, I believe we should be live now. Hello everyone, my name is Mitchell Mander and welcome to my live stream. Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon Horizons, episode 111. Amethio has joined the battle against the 6 hero Pokemon, or at least 5 of the 6 hero Pokemon. And yeah, it is the climax of the Mega Voltage arc. So how was this episode overall, and how did it fare as a finale for this arc? Well, before we get on with the discussion, I just want to say, if you're someone that's new to the channel, you're coming across this stream for the first time, or when the stream is over and it's just like an hour plus long video, whatever. Just to explain what we do here really quickly, usually for the first couple of minutes, I usually wait for people to join in, greet people as they join the chat. Then at about somewhere in the 5 to 10 minute mark, I will start giving my, a summary of the episode and then my thoughts, what I thought about the episode, pros and cons, all that good stuff. Then I assign a rating to the episode, then I go to the chat, see what chat thinks, and then we usually talk about it for about an hour and a half. That's typically the length for these streams. We also talk about the next episode, too. So yeah, that's kind of a little lowdown on what we do here. And then, another thing is, the stream or the music you hear in the background comes from a separate stream, the Video Game Study Lounge. It is lo-fi musics, lo-fi remixes of video game music. And, yeah, it's pretty chill. Some originals in there, too. Should check it out sometime. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Who's all here? Looks like PokeFan's here. Hello. Sharon's here. Hello. Stream Hype. Hey, PokeFan. I have some things to say about Arc 6. Yeah, we'll get with it. We'll get to that later in the stream. Next live discussion won't be until October 11th. Hopefully we can go back to Saturdays. By the way, can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure that I'm heard. Better than the last episode, but still has issues. Oh shoot. I'm sorry, PokeFan. I forgot you're not in the Discord. I'll have to figure something out for you, man. See if I can figure something out right now. Give me 1 second. Oh, by the way, a happy early birthday. Miraculous 365. Hello, how's it going? Well, I got some thoughts on the episode. I will give my rating in. Yeah. 8 out of 10. Interesting. Alright, let me see if I can get something working here for Discord. If it works, Discord on my desktop just sucks, man. Okay, PokeFan, I just put a link in the description for Discord. See if that works. Yo, Harlster, what's up? How you doing? more already just under the ownership of their teacher, and it's a gift for the completion of the tests. Just speculation. Error. I got an error message from YouTube. No. If I start having some issues, just let me know. I'm doing pretty good. Hope you're all doing good. Huh. Okay. Alright, looks like he's in. We got him, boys. The animation was still not the best, but it's to be expected with what's going on. Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. In fact, once we hit the 7-minute mark, I'm going to go ahead and do my summary for this episode. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with the summary portion of the stream. I'm going to end where we left off on the chat was Sharon talking about the animation. So, yeah, we're going to go and get started with the summary here. Alright, so for this episode, pretty much carrying on from the previous week's episode, we're battling against 5 of the 6 hero Pokemon. We're not really doing too hot, and the beginning of the episode starts off not so great, as Nico, Roy, and Alt pretty much have all of their Pokemon KO'd except for one. Cap also goes down as well. Alt also has a moment where he starts to lose his confidence and starts to realize, hey, I don't think we can do this. We can't win. And because of that, that little blunder there, yeah, takes out a couple of their Pokemon, including Cap. But anyways, they take out their last remaining Pokemon. Roy and Liko try to inspire Alt to continue fighting. Though, they continue the fight. They're still in for a bit of a rough battle. But they end up getting saved by Amethio, who shows up with a new outfit and a haircut, and it appears that he's been collecting Zygarde cells off screen because he's got 10% Zygarde, the doggy formed. So at least he's got some of it, but he's not completed yet. So, anyways, he goes to help them out, but then Songo and Onyx decide to jump in, so Corviknight and Zygarde end up facing off against Songo and Onyx, because Onyx's Pokemon. Whereas Cerulege is the only one that really helps Liko and the others. Yeah, and despite, Amethio jumping in, and despite, powering up Charcadet a couple times with its hidden ability, yeah, unfortunately, it just, after a while, doesn't end up working, and all of them end up getting defeated. And then in the meantime, Songo and Onyx end up defeating Zygarde and Corviknight, as their Pokemon are on Requiem, and eventually wears his Pokemon down. And of course, Glalie self-destructs, and they're all out. Yeah, so everyone is beaten, and yeah, it's pretty much Jover at this point. Liko yells at them to just stop already, and just conveniently in that moment, yeah, the super strong spears wear out, and the hero Pokemon end up fainting. So, yeah. It looks like the experiment was a success according to Spinel, so he asked them all to retreat, so they end up getting away. So we were unable to save the 6 hero Pokemon. We then have Dot, Hamber, and Crave actually show up in the aftermath of that battle. I think I spelled Amethio's name wrong in the description of this, so I'll correct it here in a moment. But anyways, that's just been bothering me because I looked at it, I'm like, wait a second, I spelled that wrong. Let's change that. Alright, fixed. Alright, anyways, we end up talking with them. It's kind of interesting now that Hamber and Amethio are on our side, so our goals have aligned. But I like how Crave is just defeated over here. And Amethio's the one that actually kind of inspires them to fight up, stand up against the explorers. So it looks like he's going to be helping out now. So they end up parting ways. And yeah, Liko and the others acknowledge that, yeah, we need to train a little bit more, because even though we've trained a lot, we've had a whole training arc, and, Roy went off training for a year. Yeah, we still need to get stronger, because we kind of got destroyed here, so, we have Alt that's pouting over here because of his loss as well. But Miss Briere actually ends up calling back, getting back with Liko, as she's finished her book. She published her book on Terrapagos, which is kind of interesting. But she asked for Liko and the others to come meet her at the Blueberry Academy, because that's where she teaches at. And it turns out that it's a sister school to Liko's Indigo Academy, and Anne should be already there. In spite Alt being defeated earlier and, wanting to separate from them. I like how Crocolar and Charcadet actually end up being the ones that inspire him and Sableye to continue on with them. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but yeah. Anyways, our next destination is the Blueberry Academy for some training. Okay, I gotta be honest, guys, this is my opinion, but I have to say I was kind of underwhelmed with this finale. I'm gonna just go on a limb and say that this is probably the weakest final episode for an arc since Arc 1. Which kind of stings a bit. I kind of... obviously, I know that they weren't going to win this, but I don't know. The animation was a little bit of a step up from the previous episode, but was still kind of not where it needed to be for like a final episode for an arc. Yeah, also Amethio, even though it was cool to see Amethio and Crave reconciling, and it's kind of also neat that Amethio's as tall as his dad now. Interesting. But like it felt like he kind of just like convinced him too quickly, in my opinion. Like he's just like, oh, kind of the typical shonen stuff where like the good guy ends up turning someone over, like convincing them to keep going and not stray from their path or whatever. Because Amethio has his own goal, and that literally just convinces Crave to be like, all right, yep, I'm gonna be fighting with you guys now. I'm not gonna be the defeated dad over here. A little corny. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like, there's no way they were going to win this one. It's still kind of an underwhelming finish for this arc. So hopefully the next arc, the ending goes better. But yeah, like, as much as I, think that Arc 2 is the weakest arc in Horizons, it had a much better finale than this arc did. The final 2 episodes for that arc were actually really good, despite that arc being overall kind of, weak. So it's kind of unfortunate. It kind of solidifies the fact that I think that this might be, I think this arc is weaker than the previous 2 arcs. I think it's still better overall than Arc 2. Arc 1 it might be on par with, but I don't know. I think these last 2 episodes weigh it down a little bit, unfortunately. Unfortunately for me, I have to say I'm going to have to give this episode a 6 out of 10. I just thought it was just an underwhelming finish for this arc. I feel like it could have been much better. So, anyways, guys, let's get back with chat and see if we can catch up. So, let's see. Pokefan, I apologize if... Or this is... I wish Discord wasn't so stupid about security. It's literally their fault. My old account got disabled. You are fine. Like, an issue I had was Mega Lucario and Dragonite got knocked out by a single oil shot from Bolivia. But you gotta keep in mind, Sharon, it's a super strong spirit, powered up version of Bolivia, too. So, it going down like that isn't really too surprising. It's also a hero Pokemon, too. Just something to keep in mind. And all their Pokemon got destroyed, but that's what we expected, yeah. This episode was alright, but guess what? It was a really weak finish to the arc. Yep. I do like Amethio's haircut, and he has a shiny doggo. I mean, to be honest, their Pokemon were pretty tired from having to run and fight, so it makes sense why they would eventually go down, especially with the Recurium boost. Yeah, it doesn't help matters. They already struggled against these hero Pokemon, just them alone. So, going up against 5 of them with Recurium on top of that, you're asking a lot for the kids at this point to actually be able to win, even with Amethio's help. My issue that was the one-shots last episode, and why is Zygarde, even if it's in its 10% form, getting one shot by an explosion from Glalie? It is a super strong spear. It is maybe just strong spear beefed up self-destruct. So that could also factor in as well. He also wasn't really commanding both of them. They were kind of just fighting them on their own for him. So that probably didn't help. Amethio did use Cerulea's firepower to boost Charcadet firepower with its flash fire ability, which unfortunately didn't amount to anything in the end. Which is to be expected. Shiny Zygarde legit just works so well with Amethio. Yep. I think Amethio needs to get the Shiny Zygarde to 100% form to stop Spino. Probably. Actually, wait. Have we seen anyone been able to withstand an explosion from Glalie in battle? Because not, then I take that criticism back. I was going to say, I don't think so. An Arc 6 Kilowattrel needs to win a battle or learn a new move. We'll see. Sharon, we'll see. Charcadet will evolve in Arc 6, okay. A hero Pokemon running out of energy when Liko shouted stop was really convenient, ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that was the one thing about it. There was a little bit of misinfo spread on Twitter about that. I mean, that moment doesn't really help. It's just very convenient for her to just say that, and then that's the moment that it stops. So, a little plot convenient, unfortunately. Henry needs more development in Arc 6. We'll see what happens. Lucario's 4th move revealed in Arc 6. I mean, regardless of the species, Recurring boosted moves are like super strong, and even Megas have issues against them. So Zygarde going down to it isn't that shocking considering how much damage. Not to mention that it's also not, at its full power too. Alt needs a 3rd Pokemon, and Roy needs to get a 4th Pokemon. Okay, in Arc 6, we'll see. I think at this point, hoping for Alt to get maybe a 3rd Pokemon. We'll see what happens. And explore different biomes in the world Pokemon, maybe Alt, and Roy will catch Pokemon there, and maybe Dot also. We'll see. Dot just got a new Pokemon, just saying. I did forget the recurring boosted. I take that Glade Explosion criticism back. Yep. Liko and... Oh my god! YouTube, why did you do that? Hold on, y'all. It decided... It just completely, erased everything I was doing. YouTube... Where was I at? It just, shot me to the bottom for some reason. Now I've lost my spot. Alright, I think I figured out where I'm at. Liko and Dot definitely don't need new mons right away. They just got new stuff recently, so Roy and Alt are more likely to. I agree. Amethio hit his growth spurt in 1 year time. He was already kind of getting to that age, so he's pretty much like... That's why he's as tall as his dad now. I'm like, he's probably, yeah. He looks like he's like... I don't know. Still looks pretty young still, but yeah. It's crazy how in 1 year he went from, you know... looking like he was in the middle of his, you know, middle puberty to just kind of just hitting his peak growth spurt. Kind of neat. So hopefully we'll see Kieran in Arc 6 and maybe Roy will battle him. We'll see. Liko fights Lacey and Roy fights Drayden. I see Dot fighting Marys. Maybe that's if she shows up. We all know who wants to see Kieran super badly. Me, yep. More on that in a little bit. Alt battles Crispin. I have to kind of rephrase my video I just put out the other day because re-looking at that preview, we might be having double battles here. So we could have like Roy and Alt doing a double battle against Drayden, and then Liko and Dot doing a double battle against Lacey. That also could work. Huh. Wonder what other Rising Bolt tacklers are going to do while the kids are training. Probably nothing significant at this. Let's be real. Also, we see a Decidueye battling, which is most likely Nimona, since she has one in the games. You think so? Think she's going to be at the Blueberry Academy? Huh. We'll see, I guess. So maybe she caught a third Pokemon. That'd be cool. This episode was amazing to me, and a feeling that the 5 heroes hearing Liko's words snapped them out of it, causing them to faint. Not quite. It was shown that the strong spears have ran out of juice, and that's what ultimately took them down. So it just was convenient timing for her to say, stop it already. 9 out of 10? Okay. Are we really gonna rate this episode a 10 or 9? Guys, really? I mean, I guess it's your choice, but I really don't think this episode was it, personally. If Marys and Crispin do end up showing up in the next arc, Dot is definitely battling her in the game. Marys is the one that grants access to Ride and Fly. Yeah, but we don't have them in this series, so I don't know. They could be hiding them, but right now I think Lacey and Drayden are the most expected to show up here. But we'll see what happens. Could be in Blueberry Academy for a little while, but we'll see. See Lacey having second battle using her Fairy Terra Excadrill and Grand Bowl. Overall, this episode was a 7 for me. Originally, I was a 6 because of the Glalie thing, but I take that criticism back from all the valid points said here. Gotcha. Drayden will use Terra Dragon. Oh. Ritualodon, or however you pronounce it. Flygon Sceptile, maybe. Double battles, Roy. Boy, I can't wait for Meowscarada and Charcadet again, instead of something like Charcadet and one of Liko's other mons like Heatram and Terapagos. Well, it's gonna happen, Pokefan. Sorry to say. Charcadet's the new star character of the team. Double battles, boy. Oh yeah, I've read that already. I think I brought that double battle thing up during the video premiere too. That being a possibility. Yep. Yo, that's why. Yep. Yeah, that if you watch it, literally after they start, as the Requiem starts to wear off from them, it pans over to their super strong spears, basically just running out of energy. So it shows that it just happened in that moment that they ran out of juice. Armories would use Metagross and either Empoleon or Skarmory. Yeah, she said, please stop, and they did stop, but not because she said so. It's because the super strong sphere ran out of power. Yep, they just collapsed from the strain of all their energy being used up. Because that's the thing is, like, Requiem already harms Pokemon, so you gotta imagine what the super strong spheres, the super strong variants are going to do. It's going to cause even more harm. And the interesting thing in this episode is, like, I like how Cray points out that, yeah, as soon as this thing goes worldwide and everybody gets their hands on this, yeah, it's over. It's just, throwing that into the mass consciousness, is going to be a major thing. You gotta still try to prevent this from going worldwide, otherwise we're gonna be in trouble. I love Charcadet and don't mind it battling since it needs to. I just want Masquerader to sit on the sidelines and let one of the other two do something. At least Heteram, because that Heteram is basically fallen off. Heteram is starting to turn into the new Kilowattrel here because it's just not doing anything anymore. It's kind of sad. Charcadet being Lico's secondary ace, yeah, pretty much. Whereas Heteram is support. I feel like it will evolve in Arc 6, I'm guessing in the second half of the arc. We'll see. It just needs something as well as Kilowattrel. Kilowattrel, I'm starting... I don't want to say I've lost hope, but like I keep saying that in every arc. I'm like, the next arc, it needs to do something. Guys, it needs to do something. It's going to do something. It's going to Terra. It's going to use Terra, and then it never does. Heteram just needs something as well. Okay, I read that already, sorry. Sableye withstood Glalie self-destruct, but only because it's a ghost type. Oh. Hearn has her role, heal. That's legit why I think she ain't evolving. She's not a battler. Oof. She is battling the next arc with Crocodile riding on top of it. I meant a Pokemon that can be affected by explosion and survive the attack, but you're not wrong. That Kilo was the first to fully evolve and yet is disrespected so much. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore about it. Like I said, I've been saying like a year ago, I was like, I hope that, Roy terrestrializes Kilowattrel at some point. It'd be kind of cool. It'd be neat if he did that. It would be cool. I mean, Dot terrestrialize a Tinkatuff, so like, why not have Kilowattrel terrestrialize? What about Heteram? Do that some more. You got me on that technicality there. Just have Kilowattrel take down one of Drayden's Pokemon. Yeah, we'll see. Because Crocodile can. Hey, look, a Pokemon Lo-Fi remix. Also, I'll take a moment to say, hey, if you haven't already liked the stream, please do so. We're currently sitting at 7 likes, I believe. Can we get to 10 likes? Can we do it, guys? I appreciate it, and also remember to vote in the poll. 10-9 is winning, 50%, followed by 8-7, 38, and then 6-5, 12%. Nobody voted lower than 5. Because Crocodile can only Terra. Oof. What Pokemon could Roy and Alt catch in the biomes at Blueberry Academy? I don't know. I'm not really too concerned about that right at this moment. Personally, I'm not really concerned about captures until we kind of get there. I'm also kind of more interested in the battles that are going on in this arc. Specifically against Lacey and Drayden. Also, I guess since we've kind of moved on from this episode and we're kind of talking about the next arc. Obviously, we got the 3 Kalos flashback episodes. Not trying to discount those, but we kind of already have an idea of how those episodes are gonna go, or how it's gonna be, how those episodes are gonna be like. So we're at least getting that. But like, Arc 6 properly starts on Halloween, and yeah, I'm very interested to see what direction we take here. I wonder how long we'll be at Blueberry Academy. Because it looks like we're doing some training here. It'd be cool if we were here for a little bit. And also, a few characters, some fan favorite characters should make an appearance here. Definitely should see Carmen here, because let's just be real. Her appearance in the Rayquaza Rising arc was extremely underwhelming. And I was very displeased with her appearance in that arc. So hopefully in this upcoming arc, she makes an appearance and has a more notable role. And actually interacts with the kids. And of course Kieran showing up at some point. The only thing is I gotta wonder is who would actually be like, I guess, a rival for Kieran. I wanted to say Roy, but I almost feel like maybe it could be Alt. What do you guys think? Alt versus Kieran. Interesting. Am I right? Or should it be Roy? Kilo is just banned from it. You know it's bad when Gimmighoul and Dragonite, 2 Pokemon recently caught and introduced, have been handled way better, and is actually so sad to see. And that's kind of just man. I think Tinkaton's the one that got like the ironically was treated the best out of the 3 of the secondary mons. It just got its final evolution here. And although I think it could have probably used a little bit of development before either of its evolutions, it got utilized more than frickin' Kilowattrel and Heteram. Heteram, when it first evolved, it seemed like it got some... Yeah, I felt like ever since it evolved, kind of just dropped off, even though it had moments here and there. Kilowattrel is just, oof. Man. Alt and her would not get along at all, and I'd love that. Alt and Carmen, is that who you're referring to? Oh, that would be those interactions would be just hilarious. The banter between those two. The thing I'm worried about is the fact that we know Roy catches Lucario, and when it's Lucario, I hope we do see them bonding, because otherwise it makes no sense to me how Roy can do the aura thing. Well, I guess we'll see what these 3 upcoming episodes do. I'm hoping for the best. I got my wish with these episodes, so hopefully the backstory here ends up being a good one, and Lucario actually gets some meaningful backstory here, and how Roy and him basically came together. Roy caught him and grew their bond. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Alt versus Kieran would be peak. Yes. I would love Alt to be Kieran's rival. See? I thought maybe Roy, but Roy's kind of got Nimona already, so I feel like that kind of works for Roy. And I kind of always thought it'd be like, Roy, Nimona, Dot, Penny, and I was hoping Liko and Arven, but I don't know if it's... I don't know, I'm losing hope with Arven. Why isn't he in the series? Why? But Alt and Kieran, we had another rival in the game, so for Alt, we could get Kieran. I feel like he'd fit that role, that slot pretty well. Just saying. But hey, do I need to make a sequel video about where's Arven in the series? Because I feel like I need to do another comedic video now that this arc's over, and be like, where's Arven? Where is he? Pikachu would be allergic to Lacey and her love of cute Pokemon. Oh, that'd be fun. Funny to see. I'm predicting a potential raid on BBA by the Explorers, maybe. Yeah, probably. But the question is, why would they be raiding them? Is it because the Rainbow Tacklers are there? Could be, I guess. And Roy can have Drayden. It can work either, in my opinion, but now that I think about it, I would prefer Alt and Kieran as rivals. I think they'd play off each other well. Yeah, Carmen, yep. Alt and Carmen's banter would just be great. As well as Carmen and Alt, too. Carmen and Kieran's banter. Kieran uses Incineroar and type Terra-Hydrapple. Incineroar, okay. Sharon, you're right. We just found Cap's ultimate counter in Lacey. Oh boy. Also, the fact Cap wouldn't also be able to hurt Excadrill unless she terrestrializes it. Oof. Also, hope they reference Clay's Lacey's father. Look, as much as I would like that, this series is kind of going out of its way to avoid past characters, so don't be surprised if she doesn't mention it at all, but we'll see. Yo, what's up, Thomas? I mean, Kieran was obsessed with wanting to get stronger just like Alt. Yeah, although the thing about it is you kind of don't get that context in the series. You know, you got that in the games throughout the DLC, but you know, he'd just be showing up here, so just wonder how they would integrate his character into the anime. Hear me out. Spinel wants to get rid of Terrapagos now, apparently, and Briere just so happened to write a book on it, and they're in Area Zero. So, oh boy. He wants to make sure that doesn't get out to the world, so he wants to take her out. Like, they want to seize their book. So he sends Agate over there to grab the book and teleport out of there. Basically, he would want to steal the book for research reasons. Technically, they got the data from Naranja Academy on Terrapagos, so they kind of have a one-up there, too. I want to see that side of Kieran in the anime, though. It's just, the problem is, how would we get to that point? You'd have to kind of, you know, develop that, you know? Yeah, I don't know how I'm only just noticing now how limited Cap's moveset is. Thunder Punch, Thunderbolt, Volt Tackle, and Double Team. It does not do well against ground types at all. Yeah. Not really too well. Captain Pikachu needs better moves, but it will never get any move updates. Cap needs Trailblaze. Like, I don't... Like, it won't get rid of the Volt Tackler for obvious reasons, but give it more... The move Surf? You really think... Why would you think Cap would use Surf, though? I don't know. I don't think Surf fits Cap. I almost want to say Fly would fit Cap a lot more. Use its tail to just spin a bunch. See? He's flying. But yeah. Trying to think what else I got. Yeah, it's obviously going to be a little bit before we actually get some info on this upcoming Blueberry Academy portion of the Rising Again arc. Since we got these flashback episodes in front of it, so we probably won't get some more information, for this arc for probably a little while, so unfortunately all we can do is speculate as to what we think could happen. Do you think they will show Mega Raichu in this series? I have no idea. We have 3 episodes that are coming out in October that could possibly show this off, so we'll see, Sharon. Man, I have quite the headache right now. Well, it's getting to that time of year. Am I right? I'd love the Mega Raichu, but Cap evolving is like Ash turning 11. Yeah, right? Well, I don't think it's going to be like Cap is going to revolve into Raichu and then Mega. That's not going to happen. I think it's going to be just like a random Mega Raichu or something like that would show up or something. Not sure the context of when it would show up, but hey, who knows? They can do what they want, right? Did last week's episode even need to exist? It was badly animated. They may have only had this week's episode. Yeah. The pacing felt a bit off. But yeah, I see your point. But they had to kind of outlast the Requiem, or the super strong spheres, which they managed to do. Maybe they need to get strong enough to last longer. Maybe that's the purpose of their training at Blueberry Academy. We gotta outlast the hero Pokemon somehow. Time to catch new Mons. I could see Cap getting Trailblaze since uses speed as its main theme and thing in battle. But honestly, just get rid of Thunderbolt. I feel like I barely use that move anywhere, right? I would like to say that, but I don't know. I just don't see its moveset changing unless Freed shows up and Pikachu seeing Freed again causes it to learn a new move. I don't know. Probably just me being silly, but yeah. Thank you. I don't know. Maybe it's because I caught it over my trip. I just felt like I had a little bit of a headache, but yeah. What did you do today? I was on a trip all weekend. That's why we're having this stream now. Can Pikachu learn extreme speed? I don't know. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't know that question. Like, do you think lately the quality of Horizons has gotten worse? I don't think the quality has gotten worse, like, over time. I kind of feel like Horizons has kind of had this issue for a little while. It's kind of unfortunate, man. I honestly feel like the anime is going to have to take a longer break than like 2 weeks. These breaks have been nice for the series, but I think it needs a longer break to kind of just get things back up and running. But I just don't think that's going to be I don't think that's an option at this point. I just get the feeling that we're going to go right into Arc 7. I don't see Horizons ending in March anymore, unless they just decide to end it, and then there's just like an arc that's like a pro or an epilogue or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I wish it could, but no. Watch Exceed just work on extending the time of the effects. That could be. Spindle did mention that they're moving on to the next stage, so I wonder what the next stage is. The super strong spheres. Maybe they're working on trying to find a way around its weaknesses. Maybe that's what the next stage is. I don't know why, but people really want Evil Freed to happen in Season 6, and I'm like, just... Yeah, no. I don't want Evil Freed. Let's not do that, okay? Also, does Freed and Drayden look very similar to each other? I wonder if there might be some relation there. Guess we'll find out. Though I only say I wish it could be because I think Extreme Speed Raichu could be great. Could work. Honestly, I would have been more hyped for BBA if the kids didn't already defeated Gita and Mona. What's the point of having training arcs and the writers just give out unearned victories whenever they want? I still kind of disagree on the Nimona thing, since that was just a technicality. But yeah, the Gita one is still a little bit. That one's kind of a little bit more egregious, just because of the way it happened. But I don't know at this point. Are Lacey and Drayden on the level of those two? Probably not, but yeah. We don't need Evil Freed. If it happens, will I complain? No. As long as it's done right, but it doesn't need to happen. Yeah, I don't want it either. Quick attack, but no extreme speed. I see this series ending in maybe June or July of next year. Why would that be? Why would it end in the middle of an arc? The arcs are April to September, October to March. So they'd be ending like midway. The super duper strong spear. Like Freed is on the poster for the next arc, which means he will appear again. Yes. Probably towards the end is what I'm thinking, but I don't know. The pacing for the series has kind of gone a little bit faster, but he could appear sooner than later, but we'll see what happens. Or maybe Super D Duper Saiyan Spear. Huh. It just gets more ridiculous as it goes on. Thanks for the emojis. I think it will end in September of next year. That's what I'm thinking. It could end in... Okay. It could end in September of next year. And then prior to Gen 10, coming out, they have a couple of, like, special, like, epilogue episodes for the characters or something like that to kind of send them off. That could be cool. I love Team 4-Star. I haven't watched Team 4-Star in a long time, man. It's been a while. Good stuff though. So Roy will give Captain Pikachu back to Freed in the next arc. I get. Well, the assumption is yeah, he's just borrowing him for the time being. I wish it went on long enough to see what they'd call Super Saiyan 4. Yeah, I was hoping it would go on. But yeah, I understand why it came to an end. I feel like Gita wasn't too crazy or unreasonable. Because she used momentum and fainted her gimlet and weakened Crocodile and Quaxwell. Then Glimora tear it out its grass resistance, so that's a plus stab. That is true. She kind of set up her own loss. Maybe she did that on purpose. The only good thing to come out of GT. Kind of off topic. Don't want to get into like a whole different series, but I will say like, yeah, not really too big of a fan of GT, but I mean I do think the Baby arc is mostly solid because Baby is actually a good villain. Yeah, something that Super kind of lacks mostly. At least GT has Baby. The rest of GT kind of falls apart after that, unfortunately. It's just the problem is they're kind of just recycling stuff. They're recycling plot stuff. Which is kind of why I'm more so, like, I'm kind of more of a fan of the original series. And not any of these spin-offs, personally. But yeah. Anyways, back to Pokemon. Terra boosted grass move was gonna hurt. Agreed. Aside from good concept ideas, but them being incredibly poorly executed. Yes. That is GT. Good ideas, poor execution. I think Geekdom kind of laid it out like that. I am hearing rumors that Freed will get Mega Charizard Y. Well, we don't. They're just rumors. Until we get concrete proof, I kind of am not buying it. And as soon as we have proof on something like that, I'll be making a video on it, so yeah. Oh, shoot. Is that a cop car coming down the road? I don't know. I'm in my room, so I can't see from where I'm at. Plus, the Gita thinks she was using 2 wild Glimlet instead of her actual team, aside from Glamora. That is true. Sorry about that. I can't help but take a shot at GT whenever I bring it up, yeah. Are we talking about Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z? At least we're not talking about GT. I don't know if you get that referenced. I mean, they weren't wild. They were just newly caught. So, probably not trained very well, so. Yeah, she caused her own downfall. I'll make sure to try and stay on topic. No, you're good. You know how often we get off topic on these? But yeah. She had said she just got them from Area Zero. Yep, she caused her own downfall then. So that's on her. And she's champion. Hey, more Pokemon lo-fi, by the way. So when do you think Amethio will get Zygarde to its 100% form? It's going to be a little bit. He already got some Zygarde cells off screen pretty quickly, I must say. I'm a little bit... I'm not mad about it, but I'm like, wow, that was really fast. And he also cut his hair and got a new outfit. In the short amount of time he's been, out and about. Oh, she caught them while Mandela effect hitting me hard. Sorry about that. Imagine if she used a King Gambit and a Sparata or a Spathra. Yeah, then she probably would have won. Arboliva seemed to have done the most damage in that battle, surprisingly. It's the GOAT. I don't know. I like how it just shot down Dragonite and Lucario. It was like a moment where like, yeah, they're gonna do it. They're about to have the two hero Pokemon, like the two hero Pokemon are about to attack one another. So it was like, oh yeah, they were setting something up. Like, hey, they could turn the tides on the hero Pokemon. They having them turn on one another, and then while they're fighting each other, do one big final attack to take them out. And before they could do that, they get sniped. It was Orbeluia, and I'd say Cleavor was the second in terms of damage, yep. Or if it was the goat in battle, literally repeating me now, Sharon. Is that oil shot even a move, or is it just the ability that can do? I don't know. Seems like a move to me. Okay. Well, I just want to say, just to remind you guys, we got 9 likes so far. We got one more to get to 10. Can we get to 10, guys? Can we do it? If you haven't liked the stream, what are you doing? Hit that like button. And also vote in the poll. Where are we at vote-wise? 12 votes and 10-9 is still in the lead. Oh my gosh. 58%. 33 for 8-7, and then 6-5 is in last with just 8% of the vote. Like if it had lead storm or energy ball, okay. Not an official move. So it's just shooting oil at them just because it can. At least in the English dub needs to have a southern accent. We'll see. I feel like that oil shot move could have been an official signature move for the Pokemon. But it's not. Okay, guys, we've been going on for roughly an hour. What else you guys got for me today? Just that I can shoot oil like Dolliv and Smoliv. Just, you can fire more than 2. In fact, it's gigantic and oil is going to be more impactful. Yeah, it's bigger than your normal Orbolivia. I still think it's like a Titan-like Pokemon. But the series isn't delving into Titan Pokemon. I really hope Roy gets a rematch with Nimona in the BBA, which Nimona defeats Roy. Preview shows Decidueye, which Nimona has in the Rimbombi team. Well, we'll see what happens, Thomas. What's going to happen if Roy wins again? Just saying. What's third Pokemon could Anne have? I have no clue, Sharon. Anne is not a character that is like, a major character. It's pretty clear at this point that she's just very much relegated to a side character, unfortunately. Don't say that. But I did. I don't know, Anne. I was really hoping that Anne maybe, during the Terrestrial debut arc, she'd have more, relevance, but we didn't really get too much with her. I mean, she's appearing here, but I'm pretty much expecting her role in this arc to be pretty much how it was in Terrestrial debut, where she shows up for a little bit, and then that's it. Penny rematch with Dot, and Dot wins, maybe? It would be bad if Roy beats her again, oh boy. But yeah, let's just keep in mind that he kind of won on a battle that had a different type of rule set. It was a double battle, and the first Pokemon that gets knocked out that person wins. She still had another Pokemon standing, but I don't know how much should have been able to do at that point. Anyways, yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, we got maybe learn from here and mistakes with Anne. I would hope so. I would hope so, but I don't know. I kind of thought that for Terrestrial debut, and kind of didn't really do a whole lot. So we'll see. But hey, Alt's gonna be meeting her for the first time, so that's something to think about. He's probably gonna get nervous around her like he does against other girls. Orb Delivery was the one that can shoot multiple oil shots all over the place, so they needed it detained and distracted, and it was evidently shown to just be sniping as soon as the fire spin ended. Oof. And Sand Slash moves Drill Run, Bulldoze, Dig, Slash. But yeah, we still got a little ways to go. Like I said, we have we're on break for a couple weeks, and then when we come back, we're doing the Callus flashback stuff for 3 episodes. So we still got we got plenty of time before BBA starts up. Curious to see how that goes. What if the Decidueye is just Anne's? Huh. I don't know. But then she'd have basically 2 starters then. Because, she had Oshawott. So that'd be like a second starter. Wouldn't surprise me if it is. I guess we'll find out. Do you think the games would have a Requiem-like gimmick? I have no idea. Some people have said that there's something in ZA that's kind of similar to Requiem, but I don't know. I'm kind of holding my breath on that right now. Huh. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, we've been going on for a little over an hour, so what else you guys got for me today before we, head on out? I don't know if I want Ramona to be in the Blueberry Academy arc. I do and I don't, if that makes sense. Yeah, the problem is it's like, I don't know how we could integrate her unless she's like going there as like just as a foreign exchange student or something like that, like Anne. Maybe she was scouted for Naraja Academy or something, I don't know. But my preference would be, we got new characters that are coming up here. We probably should, focus on them, at least for a little bit. Because if Nimona were to show up, it would immediately outshine Lacey and Drayden. So, I don't know. Maybe she shows up later. That might work better. But like I said, this arc properly doesn't start until Halloween. So we have, a little over a month before it starts. And then we'll kind of get to see where we go from here. That's the only thing that sucks for my episode discussions. I think they're going to be on hold for a bit. Unless you guys want me to talk about the Callus flashback ones when we get the descriptions for them. Like from next February to November, we will get Gen 10 news. Yeah. Plus, the less already introduced characters that show up gives even less opportunity for more new characters to be introduced. Yeah. Well, BBA is a sister school of Orange Academy, so it makes perfect sense that she would be there. I suppose. But maybe later on. Let's get introduced to Blueberry Academy, the new characters and such, and then we'll talk about Nimona showing up there, or anybody else. Would be my current thoughts. Until we get some more information, which we probably won't for a little while now. All we can do is speculate until then. Do you think they will reveal any new Gen 10 Pokemon early in this series? I don't know, Sharon. For the prior series, they showed off the starters and then Koraidon and Miraidon with the whole Team Rocket segments. So they could do something similar with Nidothing. I don't know. Do you think they will make Liko and the gang take on their trials? I don't know. They could. That could be a focus in the next arc. I don't know. We'll find out. Sorry, mistyped there. The less already introduced characters that show up gives even more opportunity for more new characters to be introduced. Oh, gotcha. I mean, we have other characters besides Lacey and Drayden and the Blueberry Academy. It would be cool if, the other Elite Four members and, some other characters, obvious person being Kieran and Carmen showing up. Like I said, Carmen's appearance in Rayquaza Rising was very underwhelming, so she has to show up here. She has to show up here. Sorry, went MIA. We had a baby gecko on our house. Had to grab it and put it outside. Oh, nice. That's cool. Imagine Lacey will quiz Liko. She could. Do you think Clay and Drayden will be mentioned? I said this earlier in the stream, but it would be cool. But considering this series has been avoiding a lot of past characters that have shown up in the prior iteration of the Pokemon anime, I don't think so. But again, it would be cool if they did. It would be at least a nice little nod to those characters, since that they're related. I would love if Liko battled Anne and Anne wins since she's been training here. Maybe it gives Liko a reason to be like, hey, Anne's gotten a lot stronger. Time for me to boost up while, battling here. And then later on she battles Anne again and wins. That'd be cool. I like how she did win against Anne at the beginning of the Trestle debut, though. Guess we'll see. Just trying to think what else I got. I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk about here. Like I said, we got a while before this arc starts properly, so it's going to be a minute before we get some more info. But when that time comes, I will definitely make a video and talk about it. I feel like ever since Liko got Charcadet, Meowscarada has been nerfed. Like I see people complain about, then they're wrong. I don't see it having been nerfed. I think that people are just complaining for the sake of it. I wouldn't bother with those people. I want Roy to lose a battle because it would make him a little bit less of a Gary Stu. I don't think I kind of find it funny that you say that, because it's kind of funny because earlier in Pokemon Horizons, Roy was losing a lot. And a lot of people were frustrated with him. And I remember people being like, wow, he's just trash. He just loses all the time. And now that he's actually, competent and actually winning all his battles, now he's a Gary Stu. I don't know. I just think that's kind of funny. I mean, technically he did lose here during this battle, but yeah. They are 1-1, so they're technically tied. That is true. Yeah, I'm kind of out of things, so I'm going to go ahead and eat a snack and do something. Alright, that's okay, Pokefan. We're probably going to be wrapping up here soon. But thanks for joining. Yo, what's up, Kelsey? One video found this disappointing. Sorry, I am late. You're fine. You mean you found this episode disappointing? I feel like Liko was losing less and Roy was losing more. So now it's the opposite, where Liko is losing more and Roy is winning more. I honestly don't... I mean, she's lost a little bit, but, like, I don't really count her loss against her that training session with her grandma a loss, because it's like, what was Charcadet gonna do, man? You expect it to win? Same with Amethio. It's like, come on now. I see a lot of people complain about that. I'm like, if I'm telling you right now, if Charcadet won both of those battles, you'd be calling it like, you'd be like, oh, she's just getting W's handed to her. You know what I mean? You just can't win. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Am I right? He has lost the battle against the heroes and would have lost against the explorers if Alt didn't clutch up with the Mega Dragonite to win them that battle. That is true. Was a good finale. Was this a good finale in your opinion? I said earlier that I found this finale to be kind of underwhelming. In fact, it's probably my least favorite since Arc 1. And not that Arc 1 was necessarily bad. It's just that the finales for the subsequent arcs have been much better. Arc 2, 3, and 4 had much better finales. Specifically Arc 4. I think that one's... they're really going to have a hard one topping that one off for the end of the series. But I just found this to be kind of underwhelming, and not because they were losing, it's just kind of how things kind of dragged on and how the episode went. I just felt a little convenient in certain moments, and other times it was just, yeah, not the best. Well, they went too far in the opposite extreme to the point where Roy's victories don't feel special anymore. They feel unearned and unrealistic. I think my one counterpoint to that is he did do training in Kalos for a year, and he's got Mega Evolution too, so it's not like he was sitting around doing nothing for a year. But yeah. Well, they went to... Oh yeah. Looks like you double posted there. Was this a good arc? Because some people call it bad. I don't think it was a bad arc. I don't think it was as strong as the previous two arcs. I'd probably put it on par with Arc 1, personally. Which is kind of interesting, because it's the first arc of year, I guess, part 2 of Pokemon Horizons, and it's on par with, like, the first arc of the series. You know, if I go off of these streams, it seems like everybody here likes it, because 10-9 constantly wins. But then you go online and, like, people, like, hate this arc. I saw someone give it a 3 out of 10 the other day. I'm like, I don't think it was that bad, but I don't think it's the best. You think this is the second worst arc after Arc 2? I'd say, like, for me, I don't know if you guys saw my post I made, like a week ago or so. I asked people to rank the arcs of Pokemon Horizons, and everybody that commented proceeded not to give me their arc rankings. So I'm like, well, that doesn't tell me anything. But I currently think that Rayquaza Rising is my favorite arc, then Terrestrial Debut, then this arc I had originally in spot number 3, and then the first and second in that order. So Arc 4, Arc 3, Arc 5, Arc 1, Arc 2. That'd be my ranking from favorite to least favorite. But I'm wondering if I've got this tied with Arc 1. I think it was overall a good arc for the most part, just one with a really underwhelming ending. Yeah, agreed. The kids winning against 2 champions in a row. This was too much. Cynthia defeated 4 of Paul's Pokemon including his Terra, who traveled with him through 4 regions, and Floragato defeated Glamora. Yeah, Pokefan did bring up some good points that kind of, show that Gita kind of nerfed herself in that battle, but yeah. Maybe this is not a bad thing because it's the first arc after the time skip and can only go up from here. That's what I'm hoping. This arc was really just getting the gang back together. We got a new team member. We lost one major one, so we're kind of compensating for Freed's loss. We've had some developments throughout this arc, and got new Pokemon. We got a new evolution. And also, everybody's kind of moving, So, yeah. This has kind of been an arc to kind of restart things. So next arc, things are kind of going to be proceeding from here. Hoping BBA ends up being good. I've been kind of looking forward to it. I'm hoping, we got Kitakami and BBA in this series, which I think is great. We didn't get Isle of Armor at all in this previous series, which, yeah. That's a bummer. So at least Horizon is giving us both DLC. Even if I think some of the DLC is not my favorite, but yeah. At least they're, working with it. I feel like some people that rate these episodes are bots. You really think so? I do think some people genuinely like these episodes, but yeah, it does kind of surprises me from time to time. Do you like alt now, and do you want Freed to be turned evil? Alt, he still has some work. I think Alt's better. He has more. We know more about his personality now, which is kind of interesting. Those episodes that we got back in August were really good for Alt. Really good character development for him. He still has some character development to do. I like how he's super strong and but when he wavers, in this episode he wavered, and because he wavered and lost his confidence, he cost his team members their Pokemon. So shows that he's still got a little bit of development to do. But I think it's so far so good with him. Still needs some work though, because he can be a little bit on the annoying side from time to time. And as when it comes to Evil Freed, no. Please, no. I feel that last week's episode did not need to exist. They could have just released the 6 heroes at the end of the last week's episode and fit the whole battle into one episode. Yeah. The pacing was very odd. It felt clunky in the last episode. It was better in this episode, but yeah, I kind of think so. I think stretching this as 2 episodes, yeah. There's a lot of convenient stuff going on too, which, yeah, kind of hindered the episodes. Gita literally did nerf herself, as did Nimona, who used a support Pokemon in Ribombee. If it was a full-on 3-on-3 instead of a double battle, I guarantee you Nimona would be the one to more likely win. Imagine if Evil Freed is a thing, and how would people react? Very mixed, because I for sure would not like it. Please, no, Pokemon Horizons, don't do it. I didn't say he would stay evil. I said her turned evil, possessed. Even if it's possessed or AI freed or whatever, I just don't want it. I don't know, it just doesn't. It feels cliche, if that makes sense. It'd be of course, we turn, the leader of the Rising Bolt Tacklers into, he's, possessed, and now he works for, Spino, and we have to, get Captain Pikachu to knock some sense into him. And then he's on our team again. Yeah, let's not go down that road, please and thanks. I also don't like how the characters nerf themselves for plot convenience. Spino brainwashes Freed into turning evil. Maybe it's cliche, but I kind of want to see it. It kind of makes sense. I really don't, though. That's just me, though. They could use super strong Requiem spheres on humans to try that out. The only thing is, like, the Requiem, it really only seemed to affect Gibeon, because Gibeon just became, like, obsessed with it, and that's what caused him to live forever. Yeah, I don't know. I like how he disappeared, and it's like, actually, there's more Requiem. Dummy. You didn't have to go to the afterlife. You could have stayed alive because there was still Requiem. Also, by the way, thanks for getting us to 10 likes. I appreciate it, y'all. The thing is, even when they do nerf themselves, the kids do still struggle until they figure out a smart strategy to sacrifice some of their Pokemon for them to get a big hit or defeat their opponents. That is true. Alright, guys. We're getting close to, we've been going on for over an hour and 20 minutes. Probably should be wrapping this up here soon, so if you got anything else to talk about, here you go. Here's your last opportunity for this tonight's stream. Won't be doing this for a couple weeks. Like, people in the Pokemon world, when they die, they just fade away instead of, collapsing normally and being buried normally. I mean, we don't necessarily see the concept of people just dying, but, like, yeah. That was a little bit of a special case with, Lucius and Gibeon, though. Want to see Roy's parents. I would like to see Roy's parents, too. It would be really nice to see Roy's parents, to see their son all grown up here and a lot more capable. It'd be cool. They're trapped with Freed. What? I guess my follow-up question to that was, why would they specifically be trapped with Freed, though? Spinel would have had to be going through his family tree and be like, oh, now we gotta go find them. They're off doing whatever, and then he captures them. I don't know. I don't think he'd go that far. He said instead of going to the local store and getting milk, we're gonna sail away and get some milk from the store far, far away. Oof. Flashback of running over Roy with his parents, yeah. One con of the series is that there are too many overly convenient plot points. For example, Liko loves Nidothing, yet she is on the crew, and she joins, and they run into the 6 heroes too conveniently. Yeah, I mean, I could say that for a lot of other moments in the Pokemon anime, but yeah, that is one problem I do have with Horizons. Everything kind of just seems to just happen. It's kind of like when they were in Kitakami. They went to Kitakami not even to look for the hero Pokemon, and one of them just happens to be in Kitakami, Little convenient if I say so myself. We got that a little bit, a flashback with Roy and his parents, but I would like to see more of them. Me too. I just don't know how we're going to fit something like that into the series at this point. It'd be a really nice Roy development episode, though. So I wish we got more with Alt's dad, besides the one flashback where he gave Dragonite to Alt. I mean, it's a good moment. It'd be nice if we got to see him, a little bit more, though. That would be nice. Just a little bit more would be cool, but I do like what they did with what we had. Still love the series, though. Me too. I think even with some of its flaws, I still think this is one of the stronger Pokemon series. I don't know if I'd put it at number 1 yet. I'm trying to decide whether I put it in the top 3 or not right now, because I think right now it's sitting right outside of it. I guess it's going to depend on how it ends. I enjoy the series. We could still get more of that since it was more of a recent thing that happened. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Same, I love the series too. Yeah. Huh. If I didn't like the series, I wouldn't be doing this still. I told you guys, some of you weren't here when I first started doing this, because I know some of you have joined since I started with Horizons, but I know Thomas has been here since I was doing my Journeys reviews. But I remember being burnt out with that series, and I remember going into this. At first, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, because I remember back then I was like, okay, I'm not going to do reviews anymore. So I was like, I'm going to discontinue it, and for the first 10 episodes of Horizons, we're going to do streams and kind of just talk about it. You know, and I definitely didn't know what I was doing back. I wouldn't say I didn't know what I was doing back then, but didn't really have a concept of how to do these streams. But as soon as I started watching the series, I ended up really enjoying it, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're not going to pull these streams after 10 episodes. We're just going to keep going. Here we are, 111 episodes later. Still going strong. Johto series was bad, and the series that shall not be named was mediocre. This is my favorite series so far. Oh. Hoenn series was decent. Sinnoh was pretty good, yes. I mean the series that shall not be named, yes. Black and White series was meh, agreed. This series and Sun and Moon, agreed. Amethio is not as good as people claim to be. Sun and Moon series was better than X and Y in my opinion. I think the problem, and I don't want to get into a whole thing here, but like, I feel like I like X and Y, but I feel like people put it on a pedestal, if that makes sense. They're like, oh, this is the greatest series ever. And I don't know if I agree with that. I think that the series had strong moments, but I think it ended on a weak note. Tyrese, hey, what's going on? Just arrived. How do you like this episode? Not my favorite ending. I've kind of already talked about it in length, but like I'd probably give it a 6, if I'm being generous, a 7. But out of all the finales we've had for the Horizon series, it's probably my weakest. People like X, Y, and Z, not XY. Which is kind of funny because XYZ has a really strong first episode, and then it meanders for a while before it actually gets good again. OG was for me. Didn't enjoy Johto. Liked Hoenn. Loved Sinnoh. Black and White was Kalos was great. Sun and Moon was phenomenal. That series This series is great so far. Pretty much how I feel. Slight differences though. I personally like the original series, even if it does have its problems. Speaking of which, hey, look, we got another Pokemon Lo-Fi song. First 90 episodes of XI were really episodic. Mostly, yeah. Besides some plot beats here and there. But, yeah. I kind of want to reserve it for, like, a actual anipoke general discussion. I'd like to do that sometime. Maybe sometime down the road. Yeah, I didn't like this episode, and now that we're shoehorning the Blueberry Academy, which feels late, but to be honest, at least we're there. I kind of was expecting as soon as Briere kind of showed back up, I'm like, I got a feeling that she's going to just be back at Blueberry Academy, and that's where we're going. Well, at least they're showing it off and not ignoring it, I guess. We could not go there, and it just gets ignored, so there's that. But anyways, we're coming up to the 1.5 hour mark of the stream. Pretty much usually where we kind of bring things to an end here. So, is there anything else you guys got before we head on out for the night? It's getting a little late where I'm at. Love the battles in X and Y, but I did not like the series very much. Yeah, I have thoughts. Because that's when X and Y is where I kind of got back into Pokemon. After having taken a break for a little while. Will you stream that Kirby Air Riders game? I don't know. I have no idea, Sharon. The only reason Black and White isn't bad for me is because it's one of the series I grew up with, so I have a slight bias, but even I can see the many problems with it, especially now that I'm older. Gotcha. Or Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Probably not. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Some may say, yeah, great stream. Gotcha. Alright, see you, Thomas. With that said, I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream since we've hit the 1.5 hour mark. And I'm not going to lie, I've been holding my pee for a little bit, so I probably need to go use the restroom here after the stream ends. So, just saying. But yeah, this was a fun stream, even though, this episode to me wasn't the best. Nothing else to say, gotcha. Well, we hit our quota. We got 11 likes. Thank you. We have 14 votes. 6-5 got another vote, it looks like. Yep, got nothing else to say. Alrighty. Well, we're going to go ahead and end the poll at 14 votes. 10-9-1. 57% of the vote. 29% for 8-7 and 14% for 6-5. And no one voted lower than 5. See you for the episode 112 discussion. It's been a fun stream and 2:30 a.m., so I'm going to go to sleep. Alright, you go to bed, Harlster. Have a good night. Hope everyone has a good evening. You too. Thank you for hanging out with us. But anyways, I gotta use the restroom, so I'm gonna end the stream. So we got a little bit of a break for a couple weeks, but we'll be back in October for live discussions. I need to actually work on my ARC reviews, so maybe I'll do that in these next 3 weeks if I have time. I always seem to be busy, but yep, we'll see. But anyways, guys, yep, that's it for today's stream. So yeah, it was fun. Anyways, guys, that's all I got. So until next time, hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you're at, and I will see you all later. Bye.